Once the legislation is passed, thank to me, I take it and I go to the workplace. It's me in the workplace who opens up that space. My appeal to the BMF is that you are a very important constituency for us, whether you associate with that or not, because we understand the theory that any revolution is as good as its ability to generate its own intellectual capacity. And that intellectual capacity is in this room. The question is whether there is optimal use of that intellectual capacity. My own view is two-way. It's not about the ANC instructing you what to do where. It is about you kicking the door into Tuli House and say, these are the problems. You know, President, a member of the NEC of the ANC presents a report on BEE, on employment equity. A member of the NEC presents that report. From where I'm seated, you see Jimmy, I still call you Jimmy, you know that. And I have got a license. One of the things that I miss about Jimmy, leave the fact that sometimes he becomes news himself. But one thing I'm missing about Jimmy is that once that report was released, I knew, I didn't second guess him. I knew that he was going to make a noise for 2 weeks. I knew that. I'm missing that because change cannot be centralized in the ANC. You know, when we talk of the ANC is an organization. But when we talk of the movement, we're not talking about the ANC. We're talking about the ANC leading progressive forces into a program. And those progressive forces, among them, all the time, has been the BMF. All the years. We never asked the BMF to be an affiliate of the ANC, but we knew that we can bank on the BMF on certain aspects of the struggle. And when that happens, then the ANC is at its best. When it doesn't happen, everybody sit back and wait for the ANC to take up the struggles. We know that we're at our weakest. That is the situation today. Now, we as an organization, we're going through a very difficult period. Where various sectors of society display doubt on whether the ANC has the capacity to lead. You know, when we're analyzing the election results, lost majority in Johannesburg, lost it in Tshwane, lost in Nelson Mandela, lost it in Ekurhuleni. Other people don't count Ekurhuleni because we're there. We're not a majority. We're not a majority. And that's why I was Numkalelwa. It's talk fair. When we workers, we knew that Umkalelwan you are good to, sir. And that's one other expression. It means Umkalelwan helps you go home a decent person. Because you help each other. You contribute 1,000 rand to me, we're 10, and I contribute 1,000 rand for 10 months. When it comes to me, it's a lot of money. That's how we are governing Ekurhuleni. When we lost there, we did a detailed analysis. And many people I know, many may be here, who thought that the only thing we should do is to fire Jacob Zuma. And all the problems of society will be resolved. Many told us that, fire Zuma, then all your problems will be resolved. We said, no. That's not what we should do. Let's do a detailed analysis. What are the problems? One of the conclusions we came to was that we are not doing with service delivery problems here. we're dealing with trust deficit. Now, trust deficit is a very difficult problem to deal with, Jimmy, because you can't put your hands on it. People just don't trust you. They have no confidence on you. For one reason or that, they list the reasons. And we discovered that one of the things that we should be paying attention to is to deal with reconnecting with people. That's why I accepted the invitation here easily, because it's part of the decision that, hey, let's reconnect with progressive forces as much as we can. And I want to make the appeal, don't just invite us to conferences. Call us to conversations, call us to provinces, talk to us, engage us, you see. Now, one of the things that we do in engaging, we don't want you to tell us what we want to hear. Tell us things as you see them. You know, we just, from 2 months of engaging regions of the ANC, went to 53 of them. I went to 6 at least. And there's not a single meeting which I finished without saying, we suspect that you, SG, and your NEC must go. It's candid. And others say, no, we can't create that vacuum and so forth. You allow that engagement. When you invite us, don't tell us what we want to hear. Give us honest feedback. We don't want praise singers, because praise singers accompany you to a river full of crocodiles. Now, tell us to change direction because there are crocodiles there. And that is the intellectual capacity that is in this room. This intellectual capacity must be able to do so. And never. Okay, and never. Yeah. Now, as a result, when I don't hear you, what happens is that I will tend to attend to every article that comes myself, to a point that people don't believe what I say. But if these intellectuals begin to add content to debate, public discourse, that's what the BMF can change direction, help this country change direction. You know, I suspect some members of yours, I know before I read an article by a number of columnists, before I read the article, I know their posture. Okay. And when you have lost ground, as we lost 8% in the elections, everybody begin to project the ANC as a bunch of brainless people. No brains. All of you have no brains. You lost 8%. Now, it can be, you know, you know. I'm sharing with you my pain. I enjoy it every day, every day. People send me long SMSs, emails, basically telling me that your brains have escaped you. And when that happens, you know what I hope for? I hope that one of the members of the BMF can go public and make a point analytically, not emotionally. Make analysis. You know, one of the things that we did in our analysis was the impact of our selection process. You know, we introduced a very detailed selection process of candidates. We said, listen, go to a BGM, take that 4 candidates to a public meeting. They must answer questions. And when we did so, let me explain you the logic. Those who will not understand the logic. The logic was, when we ultimately select one candidate of the ANC, that ward must not meet that candidate on the poll. They must meet them in a public meeting. Say, these are there are 4 of them, they ask questions, they answer, with a screening committee. We are revisiting that because people say, hey, listen, this is too complex. We don't understand. As you take 4 to that community, you create a new problem because everybody begin to have expectation. Maybe it's me who will going to be a councillor. When they don't become councillors, they fight it. And we bury people. And comrades from KZN will forgive me about this. I said to them, why are people killing each other in KZN? I don't understand in the Eastern Cape. But I said in KZN, listen, any organization that is 104 years old will understand the problem in KZN. Because decades ago, there was a big fight between the ANC and the IFP all the time. The ANC growth in KZN is massive. And we've recruited that problem inside the ANC. Now, what used to be an external problem is now internal to the ANC, and the ANC must find means of resolving those problems internally. It was easy then that, a councillor at the IFP, member, IFP there, and so forth, easy, external. It's now internal. When it is internal, it is a branch secretary who has organized a group to kill a councillor. It's more complex. And I can give you many of these. I don't want to bore you with our problems, but I'm trying to show you that the ANC can't be in Luthuli House. It must be in progressive forces in society. Now, when we lose control of 3 metros, we did an analysis of this. What does it mean? We asked a simple question, straightforward. What does it mean to lose major economic centers? What does it mean? And we came to a conclusion that, hey, listen, this is a signal that the ANC may not be different. You know, the ANC is very special, you know. It always believed that we're different. We said, maybe we're not different. Let's begin to go back to basics, because all liberation movements start losing power by losing urban centers. I don't know if you know that in Zimbabwe, ZANU-PF doesn't govern Harare and Bulawayo. They are governed by the opposition. In Botswana, the BDP doesn't govern Gaborone and Francistown. They are governed by the opposition. And that trend is everywhere, that when liberation movement are going to lose power, they start losing urban centers. And then when they lose urban centers, then there is fast urbanization. It's a terrible combination, and lethal for a liberation movement. And then we said, let's pay attention. We'll come back. I can tell you that those who govern Tshwane and Johannesburg and Nelson Mandela, they must enjoy it when it still lasts, because we're going to come back. Now, when we come back, people are not going to believe. Many say, you never came back in Cape Town, and so forth and so forth. And I always explain, Uguti, it dynamics, the Cape Town, talk to the principle of non-racialism, which has weakened a great deal in South Africa. We are not non-racial, we've become multiracial. When we talk of non-racialism, we talk of appointing a colored person, then Indian person, then white person, then we say we're non-racial. That should not be. It should be moving to a phase where we don't see color, but we see humans. And the capability of that human being must actually place that person in a particular position. That has weakened a great deal. And in the Western Cape, that is where you see what is tension, is African color tension that deprives us of majority there. And if we don't attend to it, we are not going to regain Cape Town. Johannesburg is different. People that we must talk to in Johannesburg are yourselves. No? A black middle class bulge. I normally call it a middle stratum, because it's not a class, it's a stratum of society. Many of you sell labor to earn, but you are selling a very important commodity that is mobile, called knowledge.
Well, that was Gwede Mantashe just wrapping up quite a few political pointers there regarding the business management conference that's underway in Midrand.